We are born free.
And we will die free.
The time in between, though,
that's complicated.
In that time, governments, institutions, and our egos will limit our ability to find true freedom in this life. These are real stories of real people overcoming the odds, persevering in justice, and unlocking their potential. Welcome to Finding Freedom. Here's your host, John Odermatt.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Finding Freedom here on the Lions of Liberty Network. And got an awesome guest for you guys today. I think you're really going to enjoy this conversation, enjoy this story, and the impact that my guest is having on a lot of people. We're going to be focusing on the health and wellness field, alternative health, alternative healing. I think this episode, especially at this time in our country right now, if you're listening to this later, this is being broadcast live on November 7th, right after the 2024 election. So I think this will give us a nice break maybe from the election talk and go down a different road today. Obviously, on this show, we do talk about health and wellness quite frequently. So it's good to get back into that. And I'll introduce my guest in just 1 minute. Before I do that, I just want to remind the listeners that if you're watching live on YouTube or Twitter or Rumble, or if you're listening to the audio podcast form that comes out on Monday, please subscribe. Please subscribe, comment, interact, engage with us. It helps us all out with the algorithm, and we can get this show out to more people. So thank you in advance for doing that. And without any more delay, let's bring in my guest for today, Mike Murphy. And Mike is an advocate for medical freedom. He lost his wife after a 9-year battle with cancer in 2012, and that made him realize how broken the medical system was. And that led him to founding Mountains of Hope, which is a transformational retreat center and healing oasis in the Andes Mountains of Colombia. Mike, welcome to Finding Freedom. And we just lost Mike. So I'm sure he'll be back in a minute. I did notice that his video feed, I could see him, but you guys couldn't see him when I pulled him up. So there might have been a slight issue with the connection. So just bear with us here, guys. This is going to be an awesome, awesome episode. Some of the things that are offered at Mountains of Hope, which is the Transformational Retreat Center, getting into stem cell treatments. This is a high-end retreat center that offers farm-to-table luxury dining, a myriad of homeopathic treatments that are not readily available or even legal in the United States. So through Mike's passion to make this healing accessible to all, this is something that he's brought from really the conceptual stage and made it a reality. So, and we're still waiting on Mike here. He's not back on yet. I'm sure that he's working on it. But in a time like this today in our country, and I think, this is kind of interesting. Before the show, I saw a tweet or a post on X, talking about this being the age of the entrepreneur. And the thought behind that was that this is the age of the entrepreneur. It's being ushered in now, especially because of this election, with Elon Musk being almost the ultra entrepreneur. And I think it's fitting that we have Mike today using entrepreneurship to make such a massive impact in people's lives. And I see Mike is now back, so we'll bring him in. Mike,
Hey.
welcome to Finding
Hey.
Freedom. Up, I'm not hearing you, Mike. Looks like we're having some issues with the connection here, unfortunately. So we're going to continue to troubleshoot this, and I would just ask that you continue to bear with us because we will get this figured out. I promise you that. One thing we can try is we could try going without video. I'm not sure if you can hear me, Mike. I'm going to just shoot you a message in the private chat here. So I think what we'll try to do is maybe we'll just try to just get the audio for Mike, and I'll leave my video on. This happened not too long ago where I don't know how long ago the podcast was actually. Maybe it was several months ago where I had a similar issue with a guest, and I was broadcasting live just like this, and we ended up taking both our videos down. But I think if his video is not working, I think I'll probably leave mine up. But anyway, I guess to kind of finish the story that I was telling there when we got Mike back for a minute is the age of the entrepreneur. So you have this, this group that has this coalition that Donald Trump has brought together. People like Elon Musk, other entrepreneurial types who have had tremendous success building businesses. And it's not only something that I think, a lot of people like the old school Republicans, the country club Republicans, it was more of, these are the people that are going to enact policy, enact regulation that is going to help, their ilk, their corporate friends. But I think this is going to be very different this time with Donald Trump. I think what we're going to see is policy and regulation rollback in order to help the little guy, in order to help the mom and pop shop, in order to help business, people start businesses from scratch. So that's what I'm hopeful for. And that's why I really do believe that we are entering the golden age of the entrepreneur. And as an entrepreneur, even if that's not the case, that's what you should believe, because you should have a positive outlook. You should be thinking that things are getting better. You should be thinking that the government, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, whoever is influencing Donald Trump, is going to do things to improve the conditions that you're going to be operating in. Now, I'm not saying you should be delusional and put your head in the sands, but having that positive outlook and imagining the success ahead of time, there's a lot to that. There's a lot to visualization. And we still don't have Mike here. I can kill time all day. I'm just checking my email to see if he has. Why is my email not letting me switch over? Gotta love Gmail. If anyone else has been having any problems with Gmail lately, whenever I try to switch between accounts, it doesn't let me do it. I'm just going to tell him when he gets back on to kill his video. Let's try without video. It's kind of crazy that how much this technology has advanced, that when something like this does happen, it is super, super rare. I just think out of the amount of interviews that I've done over the past, I don't know, 10 years. I guess I've been doing this for almost. Have I been doing this for 10? Yeah, I guess I have been doing this for 10 years. How many interviews have I had where I've had like an issue like this, especially on a live stream, where my guest has had video issues. It's been twice, I think, which is kind of crazy when you look at the number of episodes I've done. So, and things have just gotten better and better, obviously, as the years have gone on. So it is super rare to have something like this. Now, whenever I have my friend Anthony Samaroff on, there's always connectivity issues because he's always in some, far away, remote part of the world where it's hard to connect. But for the most part, there are not connection issues no matter where people are. I remember during COVID, I had, I'm drawing a blank on this gentleman's name, from India. He's a tour guide in India, and he was given the lowdown on what was happening in India with COVID and what was happening in India with the lockdowns. And it's just crazy. You can talk to someone on the other side of the world and just have a perfect internet connection, and we never had any issues. But sometimes, for whatever reason, this happens. I don't normally do this, but last night I was watching Fox News, election season. I'll watch a little Fox News, watch a little CNN, watch a little MSNBC, just get a pulse of what's happening in the world, what people are saying, just trying to stay plugged into the propaganda machines. So I caught a little bit of Hannity when he was interviewing Dave Portnoy, which was just a stupid interview. Sean Hannity is such an idiot. I'll get to that in a minute. But they were having connection issues. Portnoy had to actually talk on his phone in order to do the interview. But Hannity wanted to talk to Portnoy because Portnoy had some viral video where he, of course, every video Dave Portnoy does is viral, but essentially where he broke down the reason why Donald Trump won, because the left really didn't give, people like who vote like Dave Portnoy, who vote on a couple issues, who vote on the economy, didn't give any options. It was just they just tried to trash Trump, and that that didn't work. But Hannity made half the interview about Dave Portnoy's dog, and it was just a weird interview. But if you're joining late here, I see we have some people jumping on here. I'm not sure if you're on YouTube or Twitter or Rumble or from where, but we're having some technical issues with the guest today, Mike Murphy. Mike Murphy, of course, as I talked about earlier, he's the founder of Mountains of Hope, a transformational retreat center and healing oasis in the Andes Mountains. So I did send Mike an email. We've had him twice here where he was here and then his video cut out, and then I brought him on the screen and he froze up. So trying to get confirmation that he is going to be back. I don't know. At this point in time, not sure. Not sure he will be back. I still am, and this episode will happen one way or the other. We're going to have this conversation. But I am super excited about hearing this story because, to go through something that Mike went through with the tragic loss of his wife to a 9-year battle with breast cancer. And I can't even imagine that. But being able to channel tragedy like that and turn it around into what he's created with Mountains of Hope, which is a transformational retreat and healing center in the Andes Mountains in Colombia. It's just like, wow. I mean, it's one thing to change your career, and it's one thing to reinvent yourself, but to be able to totally transform your life and use that, what you've created with that transformation, in order to help other people transform their life. It's just amazing. So I hope we can get Mike back on here today. If not, we'll figure out another day. I'm going to give this 2 more minutes. If anybody has any questions for me about anything, now is the time. if you want to, you could drop it in the chat and whatever. We'll talk about it. Questions on the election. You want me to rant about something? Questions about health? Questions about whatever you're dealing with. I'll talk about it if you want to drop something in the comment section. I'm giving Mike about another minute 30 here, and then we'll probably cut this off. I'm guessing he's got some major. I always want to give people time to reboot their computer, because if you have connection issues, 99% of the time, probably higher than that, a reboot works, right? It's amazing to me how many people I know when I used to work in the corporate world that they would never turn off their computer. And these are people, this is back when I would work in the office, and you'll bring your computer home every day because people keep working and email you because they're psychopaths. People would just shut their computer, it's running, throw it in their bag, open it back up at home. And the reason they do that is because you don't want to lose the tabs you have. I get it. But really, all that's introducing is just like chaos into your life. You never finish anything, and you're starting something else, and you got this tab open, and you get an email. You open another tab, and you get an email, and you open another software, and you get another email, and you open up Excel, and you get another email, and what are you doing? Like, you don't even... I mean, I could do a whole show on how just like the way that corporate America operates, it's really, and this is like, use the word corporate America so loosely. I mean, there's companies and there's people that are, highly efficient and highly effective in that environment, and they've figured out their own systems in order to do it. But I would say most of the people that I came across were incredibly inefficient in getting anything done, just because they had no systems. Their systems were, look at your email. Oh my gosh, there's a fire I got to put out. Okay, well, this is kind of put out. Oh my gosh, another email. This other thing I got to do. Okay, well, I kind of started that. Oh my God, another email. I better, like, it's crazy. I don't know how you do anything. Like now, I mean, I don't deal with that nearly as much as an entrepreneur. Although right before I came on air here, I got thrown off because I got a text message from a commercial leasing agent that I'm working with on a very likely potential location to place my ice machine. And that totally threw me off my game. And I was a minute late getting on this live stream today with Mike Murphy, who we are waiting on. And I said I was going to give 2 minutes about 3 minutes ago. And okay, I just got something back here. So from the PR agent who who's the connection between Mike and I, said he just heard from Mike. He's in the middle of an intense tropical storm. Could literally hear the thunder cracking in the background of the message. Is there any chance we could reschedule later this week, next week, anytime? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to reschedule this interview. And those of you on YouTube, Twitter, and Rumble, you got some free rambling content from me. So that's all I got for today. I'll just leave you with one more random thought. This election, my friends, okay? If you're still listening to this is important. Tune in. Block everything else out. I want you to focus on what I'm going to say right here. If you're a Trump supporter, if you voted for Trump, if you even just rooted for Trump, you're in a situation right now where there's a lot of people in your circle, maybe family, maybe friends, maybe your mom, maybe your dad, maybe your wife, maybe your sister, maybe your brother, who are extremely angry. They're angry at you because you are responsible for their anger in their mind. And it's natural to want to say, it's natural to get angry back at them because because it's not warranted anger. It's not justified for them to be angry at you for voting for Donald Trump, but that's what's happening. And I'm seeing it on social media. I'm seeing it everywhere. And the response I'm seeing from people on the right, from Donald Trump supporters, I don't think is the right way to respond. It's not going to help anything, which I'm seeing them just post these videos of leftists screaming and crying. We looked at one yesterday on Brian's show, and now in hindsight, I honestly kind of regret that. I don't think we should be operating that way. I think I think maybe the best thing to do is probably just take a few days and just try your best not to engage with people who are going through this, because they're going through a grieving process. If you are going to engage, you just gotta shower them with compassion. You just gotta be, you gotta be loving, gotta be understanding, and if people scream at you, remove yourself from the situation, because people are not rational right now. They're totally not in a good headspace. So I would not advise antagonizing those people or making fun of them. I regret doing it. I apologize doing it. I'm not going to do it again. I really hadn't thought about, kind of like in the celebration and the celebratory relief of after the election, I kind of I don't know. I kind of lost my bearings, I think, there, because even outside of that show, I was retweeting stuff and commenting on stuff, and I wasn't thinking through actively really how dire the situation is for a lot of people on the other side. There's been a major propaganda. They have bought into a information war. They have been victims of an information war from the left that has distorted their ability to process reality. That's what's happened. So I just want to say that. Be patient, be kind, be loving, and at the very least, if you can't do that, just don't say anything. Just don't say anything. Just remove yourself. All right, that's all I got. I'll see y'all next week. And I'll see you with this interview at another time with Mike Murphy. So keep your eyes out for that. Peace.